Da 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 dum dum da, da da dum da da dum dum da. If there's anything that you want, if there's anything I can do, just call on me and I'll send it along with love from me to you. I got everything that you want, like a heart so, so true. Just call on me and I'll send it along with love from me to you. I got arms that long to hold you and keep you by my side. I got lips that long to kiss you and keep you satisfied. If there's anything that you want, if there's anything I can do, just call on me and I'll send it along with love from me to you. Hi, how you doing? Justin here. Today we are checking out From Me to You by the Beatles. This is a really great song for intermediate guitar players that are just getting to grips with the bar chords, because it's mostly open chords and there's a couple of opportunities where you can use extra bar chords or escape out of them if you're struggling with them, if your hand's getting sore. But it's good practice getting in and out of your bar chords. Notably, it's got a G minor in it, which there's not really a way of playing that one as an open chord. So let me take you through the chords first of all with the real super simple strum. We'll talk about the strumming later because there's a few different approaches to this one as usual. So 4 down strums to the bar, we've got C chord, da 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 dum dum, A minor, da da C, and then to A minor. That's the intro out of the way. In the verses, if there's C chord, that you A minor. If there's C chord that I can G, just F on me and I'll A minor along with C, from G to C to A minor. Second verse in C and then to A minor, like a C that's so, so G, just F on me and I'll A minor it along with C, from G7 to C to C7. We got G minor that longs to see you and F you by my side. I got D7 that longs to kiss you and G to G augmented. Okay, that's the sections that we need. Okay, so we got the verse 1 and verse 2 ever so slightly different at the end, and then the bridge we've got a couple more unusual chords, the G minor and a G augmented, which is also a very nice chord, not particularly difficult, so don't be scared of it. So all of the first verse and second verse are all the same up to the last 2 bar section. Okay, so C for a bar, then A minor for a bar, C, and then G. You could also play G7 there, but I think G, to my ear, sounds better in this kind of acoustic strummy environment. Then F. Notice again, I'm very often going to be playing F chord like this. Now, for most beginners, you're not going to be playing like that. Even most intermediate guitar players are going to struggle to get the thumb over. I do it just out of habit, but you're almost certainly going to be wanting to do a proper bar chord F at that point. Then to A minor. Now, the last 2 bars of the verses. Verse 1, C, G, or G7. So you could go C, G7, C, A minor if you want, or just C, G, C, A minor. Okay, either one of those things would work. At the end of verse 2, C, G7. You could play G again there. G7 to me in this particular part works nicer. Going C to C7. Okay, so just adding the little finger down on the 3rd fret of the 3rd string to go from C to C7. Now we got the bridge, we're moving to bar chords. Okay, so G minor, there's no way of playing a G minor open chord. Well, there kind of is, but it's really awkward and kind of pointless. It's a lot easier to play the bar chord one. So you're moving to the 3rd fret, thicker string root. So just the 3rd and 4th fingers down, making sure that you got that bar holding down the 3rd string, because that's the most important note there to really trigger the G minor sound. Now, you could at that point move to a regular open C chord, but I would suggest if you were there on the G minor that you're going to move to the 5th string root A shape for the C chord, okay? A shape meaning this little chord shape is based off of the shape of A, okay? Like that. It would be an A chord, but we're using the bar, which is referred to as an A shape, or a fifth string root, if you're not used to the cage system names of these chords. So G minor to C, and then to F. Now the next chord is D or D7. You could play regular D, or you could play D7. You could play D7 up here as well, which is just like a C7 that we used earlier, but up 2 frets. I quite like the sound of that one, particularly for Beatles songs. It's got a particular thing that's sounds of the era to my ears. And then we've got this G to G augmented. Now, the easiest way to play a G augmented is to go from a regular G chord, but just using 3rd and 4th fingers. Again, if I've got a lot of C and G's in a song, I'm likely to use this version. Sometimes with my 2nd finger down as well, but more often than not, I just use 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the thickest string, mute the 5th string, because I don't like the sound of that low B. This kind of gets muddy to my ears, but so I mute that. 3 open strings, and then little finger on the 3rd fret of the thinner string. Now to get to G augmented, I just add 1st finger in the 1st fret of the 4th string. Okay, so there's G, G augmented. Okay, it's a really cool sound. Very Beatlesy, going to C. You get that nice movement there within the kind of the chords, which I think makes it sound really cool. If you're going full bar chord for the bridge, which is a nice kind of thing to be doing, is to be doing open chords for the verses and then bar chords for the bridges. It just kind of, you know, differentiates the sections in a way that can be quite pleasing. So you'd use G minor, C to F, then to D7. You could use that. You could use D7 like this as well, the 5th string root A form if you wanted to. I think that this one sounds nicer. If you're going to do that, there's another really nice G augmented 7 you can play. Go from a regular G bar chord, G major bar chord. Now, I can add the bass in with my thumb as well, but you wouldn't have to do that. You could just play the top part, which would be 1st finger on the 3rd fret of the 4th string, 3rd finger in the 4th fret of the 3rd string, little finger in the 4th fret of the 2nd string, and 2nd finger on the 3rd fret of the thinner string. It's a really, really nice G7 sharp 5, I guess, or G augmented 7, some people call it. It's just it's another one of those ones. It's nice movement within the chord shape. So probably better actually that's where it's going. But this chord and this chord, same notes, just swapping around a little bit. But for most people, that'll be the trickiest part, will be just dealing with the G augmented and those new chords. For any of you that are beyond the beginner stage, I definitely recommend having a go with these bar chords. You could play the whole thing as bar chords, though, note as well. So that's something that we're going to talk about the rhythm in a second. But you could do that you want, and if there's anything I can do, just call on me, and I'll send it along with love from me to you. Okay, that would be a really good exercise to be able to do that. And in some ways, I think that kind of works for the song more if you're going to be doing it a little bit more authentically with the strumming. So, talk about beginner strumming pattern first of all. The nicest one to start off with beginners would be Old Faithful. So down, down, up, down, 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 up, down. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. If there's anything that you want, if there's anything I can do, just call on me, and I'll send it along with love from me to you. Okay, obviously where I have to change that is that last 2 bars of the verse, because it's 2 strums per bar, so we want to strum on beat 3, which is missing in Old Faithful. So down, 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 down. Sometimes it sounds like I'm going like 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. But that last little up is kind of accidental. It's happening, but it doesn't matter. With the strumming, remember that as long as you keep your hand moving, if you put in an extra strum here and there, it's going to be totally fine. So don't worry about that. So that strumming pattern would be a good starting point. Now, if you're going to do the bar chords version, you can start to pay a little bit more attention to what it actually sounds like on the record. And the record has a really strong accent on 2 and 4. So you get this. One, 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3. But to get that level of accenting, you're holding the bar and you're just pressing the chord down. 1, 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4. So you're doing, I call it pumping. So I'm just like, the chord is in place, but I'm press 1, 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4. Sometimes I'll put a strum on 1 as well. So the strum on 1 will be slightly lighter, okay? And if you apply that strumming pattern all of the way through, if there's anything that you want, if there's anything I can do, just call on me and I'll send it along with love from me to you. I wanna hold you, keep you side, side. I got everyone to kiss you, keep you satisfied. Now you can hear already, aside from that wrong chord just at the end, you can hear that doing it that way, there's also other things creeping in, like little variations on the build going. So doing that kind of thing at that level, if you're playing bar chords and you're able to do the strumming pattern with the accents, you can start to think a little bit about form and build and where you might develop it and where you might chill it down a little bit, where you might build it up, because that kind of dynamic thing, if you stayed the same with a real static strumming pattern for the whole song, it would get boring to the listener. So you do want to think about that if you're playing this in a kind of a acoustic guitar and strumming version. In a band, it's a different thing. Okay, so playing it in a band with different parts where you would really strictly do those rhythms, they'd be a lot tighter on electric guitar. You'd pay more attention to how of your job in the band, okay, because you're not the sole provider of the groove there. So if you're playing by yourself, you could definitely be doing like open chords and a little bit simpler strumming there for the choruses, or for the verses, and then for the bridge you move it to the all bar chords with a bit of a heavier accent. That kind of thing works nice. It's really up to you to explore how that might work. I think that's pretty much the whole tune. The only other thing is right at the very end of the tune is this slight variation where it's love from me to you, to you, to you. Okay, so he's using this A minor major 7 from an A minor chord. It's full swap. It's second finger goes to where first finger was, so it was first fret of the second string. First finger goes down first fret of the third string, and third finger's going down in the second fret of the fourth string. It's a really cool chord. Often used in jazz, like it was a boy, very strange enchanted boy. And as he spoke of many things, fools and kings, that kind of sound. Beatles used it quite a bit as well. So I hope you have a lot of fun with this tune. There's definitely a lot of things to check out for an intermediate guitar player. You can keep it fairly simple, mostly do open chords and introduce a few bar chords. You can play it all bar chords. You can look at doing the accents on the 2 and 4. You can look at pumping the chords. Quite a few different things to check out. Really good for intermediate guitar players to have songs that can kind of grow as they develop those kind of techniques. Do remember that all of the songs are all graded over on the website, so you can find songs that work really well for you. It's a lot easier to find all of the right songs as well. You might get inspired to check out some new material as well, and you can save your songs over to the songbook on your dashboard and all of these fancy new features over there that you might want to check out on if you haven't already. If you happen to be on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel because I really appreciate your support, and I'll see you for plenty more lessons very soon. You take care of yourselves. Bye bye.